Greetings. Hola mundo. I don't know why, but like sometimes I want to be like, "Hey, how's everyone doing?" and then wait for responses back. Um, oh my gosh, can you hear that? Like it's my washer. It's so loud. Hopefully you can't hear that, but even if you can, sorry about it. I've always got to do laundry. Anyways, so, going on with the video today. So, I'd like to think like when you are a certain type of person that you kind of influence those around you. I don't necessarily consider myself to be an influencer or like that type of person that's just like, oh, but I'd like to think that, being who I am, which is a very strong, outspoken person, kind of rubs off on other people in a positive way, not necessarily negative. For instance, like me being a Latino, I'd like to think that by me being around people that they learn things about Latinos, and that it's just a natural kind of learning where it's not like, hey, this is an educational environment, let me tell you about X, Y, and Z, but more so like, oh yeah, when you're next to people that you just gravitate and learn more about them and their culture as well. I never really embraced my Latino side, honestly, until like maybe the last 5 years. Like I was part of the Sociedad Honoraria Hispánica in high school, which is the Hispanic Honor Society. And you had to get like make certain grades and whatnot in your Spanish class, and I was really good at Spanish. Can I just add that? I'm actually a lot better at Spanish than what I claim, especially like just working in retail. I honestly like that's another story, but it's legit. Like I chomp my Spanish down a lot because I like to like empower people, and I'd like customers to assume and think, and granted, of course there are Spanish speakers that are going to know it better than me, but I'd like, most people to be like, oh, it's a learning experience for this little kid, even though I'm not a little kid. But anyways, going on with that, I'd like to think that, that I influence people at certain levels, right? So this is a story. This story actually happened maybe about 4 or 5 months ago. It was an early morning. It was an early morning, and I was with one of my associates, and we were at work and whatnot. We were talking about music and all this good stuff, and he is from. So if you're familiar with Texas, it's like oddly shaped, of course. I'm in Central Texas, not gonna tell you where I'm at, so you won't be a creeper. But he was from like more Beaumont. We'll just say that Beaumont, Texas, which is like I don't even like outside of Houston. I don't even know where it's at. So, anyways, going on with that though, we were talking about music and music I like, music he likes, and we're like, oh, what do you recommend? And that way we're trying to expand our knowledge of music. And I was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, okay, well, X, Y, and Z. And, like, sounds horrible, but, like, we're drastically ages apart. Like, not drastically, but, like, by maybe about 12 years. And one of the things that he had asked was just like, oh my gosh, like 12 years. I wouldn't think that that's so much of a difference, but apparently it is. So, like, we were talking about music, and I was like, oh yeah, like Hanson, bop. I'm not gonna sing that because I don't even think like I sing the correct lyrics to it. But going on with that though, so I was like, oh, this one and this one and this one. It's like, oh yeah, sweet, awesome music. And then we got to a point where he was like, oh, well, what about like Latin music? I was like, honestly, like, I mean, yeah, at the club in San Antonio, I'm not in San Antonio anymore, but in San Antonio, like it's heavily influenced. The LGBTQ clubs are heavily influenced by Latin music, and so we're talking about that, and I was like, oh well, Selena, and he like this is something that I thought every Texan, like, don't they teach this in school? Like, I thought I learned this in school. But he was like, oh yeah, I like Selena. And I was like, yeah, you do? He's like, yeah, she's just pretty awesome. She's pretty sexy. And I'm like, what? I mean, don't get me wrong, she's sexy, right? But he goes, yeah, Selena Gomez. And I'm just like, no, like, the Selena. And he goes, who? Not Selena Gomez? And I'm like, oh, take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. And I was like, no, like Selena Quintanilla. He's like, what? I was like, oh my gosh, like, how do you not know this? Everyone at every age, if you're a Texan, like, this is part of Texas history. Like, you learn this. Where are the books? Like, I gotta get my books out. Like, you learn this in Texas history. Like, the Selena. I was just like, oh my gosh, like, where have you been? Have you been in Iraq? And granted, like, this one employee is not Latino, but I just thought that everyone, like, everyone knows that, right? So here's some things that I have to tell you about the Selena Quintanilla. Like, she was, according to, I don't know if y'all watch Superstore, I love that show, but like, she was Beyonce before Beyonce was Beyonce. She was, of course, she's passed for like 23 years now. She gave Jennifer Lopez her rise to fame. She was the Tejano music queen, because Tejano music is where she got her start from. You know, 3 things you have to know. She's Texan, because Texans are amazing. Like, Texans are awesome. Texans are Texans. We have our Texas culture, and I'm telling you, like, legit, she's in our Texas history books. She's been nominated for like over 80 different types of awards, and most of those awards came after her death. She has actually won over 60, I want to say like 66 awards. Most of them, of course, within Tejano music. She has a Grammy, I'm pretty sure, like, I'm telling you, she has so many different types of awards. There's so many things. She really helped cross over Mexican American music, because her Grammy, I want to say the first Grammy she won was for Mexican American album, female Mexican American album. But like, before this, I love Justin Bieber, but before Despacito, like, I'm telling you, like, her music is amazing, so inspirational, it's inspirational. But no, definitely, and you definitely have to check out the movie Selena, because like it's mandatory. Like, that's one of those things where if you're my friend, like, this is something that you have to do. One of the movies that you have to watch to really get to know me as a person. So, do y'all have any stories of people confusing the Selena, like Selena Gomez with Selena Quintanilla? Like, oh my gosh, like, that's crazy. Or anybody else that's famous like that? I don't know if anybody else is famous that share like same names but culturally different, even though they're both Latina. And just a side note, I always tell people, like, Selena Gomez is my prima, like, she's my cousin, because I'm a Gomez and she's a Gomez, and it's just, I'm just picking up things off the floor. But yeah, feel free to share questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, reactions, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm just like still like in shock about that. Like, how can you not know? That's just, oh, I'm so saddened. Ooh, my hair is itching, sorry. Thank you for watching. Bye.